Hi, my name is Randy Borders, and welcome to Expanding Borders. This is an opportunity. We talk about things that we don't normally talk about in the pulpit or the preaching moment. So if you've not hit the like button or the subscribe, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel today. It's a good opportunity to do that so you can be informed. If you want to know whenever I'm dropping new content, hit the notification button and you will be informed. Listen, it's time for episode 3. We're going to talk about vision and focus. Let's go. Well, this is an interesting topic as you start talking about vision, because vision has to do with the ability to perceive the invisible, is to be able to walk out into a place, maybe it's an open field, but you see apartment complexes. It is your divine mandate. It is that thing that you have to do. It's that it's not what you want to do, but you have to do. It is what I want to call a divine mandate. It is an imperative in a competitive market. It's what you have to do while you're competing with everybody else doing what it is that they're supposed to do. So I want to talk about vision and focus, because there have been many times that I lost my focus. I started a church 34 years ago. Seemed like it was just yesterday. And time flies when you are just having fun, doing the thing that you're called to do. But it hasn't been without its highs and its lows, and without feeling like giving up. There were times when I wrote my resignation letter. I've probably written my resignation letter in every seat in my office, because sometimes vision demands such a work that your character has to be developed. A lot of what I thought would happen overnight took time, and I didn't know that the time, every passing moment has a feeling attached to it. Every trial has a feeling attached to it. Every obstacle that you go through has a feeling attached to it. And that's why vision has to be birthed, and vision takes time. And so I want to talk about vision and focus, because I remember before I started wearing glasses, I had to go to the optometrist, and I didn't want to go, but what the optometrist did is set me down in the chair, and he started clicking all these buttons, but what he was doing was changing lenses. So I had to get the lens that actually corrected my vision. It wasn't just that I could just look through and say, because I thought glasses were just a piece of glass. But when the glasses are medicated, the glasses are different strengths, so that they determine my ability to see. And I realized that when I thought I could see well, I could see better if I brought it into focus. So there were several different kind of eye conditions that you have. So one, they said if you're nearsighted, that means you have the ability to see far out, but you don't have the ability to see up close. There have been seasons where my focus needed to be corrected because I was too nearsighted. In other words, I could see everything that was right in front of me, but I couldn't see the distance. I had no long-term goals. If you're going to be successful, what you have to develop is long-term goals. What are you going to do, not just this week, but what are we going to do next month? And then not what are we going to just do next month? What is your 5-year plan? And so because I didn't have a plan, I was running from day to day. And so I was nearsighted. And so if it were that I was sitting in that chair and the optometrist began to click the lenses, I would have had to get a correction to being nearsighted, to seeing that today was good, but am I prepared for tomorrow? See, if I'm not prepared for tomorrow, I'll spend everything on today. I'll spend all my energy in the day, and I have to learn how to conserve that energy. The next kind of lens that they prescribe sometimes is that if you're farsighted, first nearsighted, but then farsighted. When you're farsighted, you can see far, but you are able to see things close up, which means that there are some times when I had vision, and I would talk about all these things that I wanted to do, but I didn't realize what it would take right now in order for me to prepare for that moment. So I would have these lofty goals, and the people who were following me, I was like, how in the world does he plan on getting that to happen? Because I just seemed like I was talking in fantasy. In reality, I was farsighted. I could see far, and I knew that it was supposed to happen. I just didn't know that I had to back up and work with the things I had today. I had to work with the present team I had. And sometimes we could see what we want so bad that we don't know that if we develop what we have could be everything that we need. many times what you need is in the house is that your ability to work with it is so it had more to do with my leadership style, my leadership ability, my ability not to be able to cultivate. And sometimes I looked over things up front while I was looking to the future, but I didn't realize if I don't deal with what's in front of me, there's not a future that's going to be there to be had. And so there was nearsightedness, farsightedness, but then there is another type of vision that you have to deal with, and that's when you have double vision. Double vision is when a person sees two of everything. Sometimes you only got one thing you're dealing with, but it seems like it's so much coming at you at one time. You got double vision. You're making more out of things that they need to be. And so to correct that, you don't need to see two images. You need to see one. So there is a lens that they will give you. I think it's a convex lens, and that lens will actually take the two things and bring them into one. Sometimes our problem is that we're not able to focus because the eye condition that we have is that you see more devils than there are, you see more obstacles than there are, you see more challenges than there are. And if you could learn how to focus on that one thing that you're dealing with, you realize that it's really not that big, and it's really not something that is not germane to everybody. All the people have the same struggle. I had so much coming at me, and because I was afraid to let people know that, listen, this is my challenge and this is what I'm dealing with. And I realized that it wasn't as bad, didn't have as many as I thought I had. What I had was normal. Then the last one I want to talk about, and then I want to share just a brief story with you. The last one is tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is when objects seem to be so close, but they're close to the middle of the sphere of your looking, you cannot see peripherally. In other words, you're so focused on this one thing, you can't see the other things coming at you. When you have tunnel vision, is like you can't see that there are challenges on the right, challenges on the left, or you can't see the blessings on the right and blessings on the left because you're so concentrated on what's in front of you. And what I believe that you have to develop is this panoramic view that you're able to see all around you. So our tendency sometimes is to have a limited focus, and we're focusing on one thing. We're so focused, we're so tunnel focused on that we miss the fact there's so many other wonderful things that are happening around you, and you can't embrace that because you're limited in your view. So it's going through a season in my life to where I was contemplating as to whether or not I would go forward or I would give up. And I didn't realize that every day almost was different. Some days I was farsighted. Some days I didn't have the ability to see up close. And some days I was nearsighted. I could see everything that was happening right now, could not see in my future. And then there were times when I needed to engage everybody around me, but I had such a tunnel focus, I couldn't see that I had help. And what I had to do was just stop and say, listen, if God called me to it, there are people that's gonna help me do it. If God called me to do it, there must be a need for what I provide. If God called me to do it, I gotta get up off my rusty dusty and find the answer. And I decided that day that I was gonna be an answer instead of a question. So we used to sing a song, Jesus is the answer for the world today. If he's the answer, I must be the question. And if I'm the question, I'm going to become an answer. How do I do that? Start operating in the nature of God. God was a visionary. He is a visionary, and he is a planner. So I started to see things as they could be. Start executing the plan. What you got to do is get a plan. I want to just use these 4 words as it relates to plan. As it relates to plan, P-L-A-N. You write that down, P-L-A-N. First thing you got to realize with your plan, it has to be personal. I can't tell everybody else what to do, but I do know what I'm going to do. I can legislate myself. It has to be personal. And then it has to be local. What am I going to do right now, right around me? What am I going to do with my friends? What am I going to do with my time? Local. I mean, after that, P-L-A-A has to be action. Is I can have things. What will I need to do to set these things in motion so that there be action? And then N was national. So I have a personal vision. I have a local vision. I have a plan of action. And then I have a national vision. How am I going to take this to the world? And once I start writing it down, it becomes more real to me. And then I realize that there is nothing that can stop me from doing what I'm called to do because I got my vision in focus.